It's amazing how much fake food is out there, right? Make sure my mic is on. Yeah, it's on. There is so much food that's not really food. I remember when I first started trying to eat healthy, I was very discouraged at how much food isn't food. And I was very discouraged at how when people were trying to give you helpful information, all they told you is what you couldn't eat. And I'm like, okay, I know I can't eat that. What can I eat? So I want to talk to you today about food, and I want to talk to you about the purpose of food and really get you back to thinking about what you eat and why you're eating it. My name's LK Way. I'm the wellness writer for the True Age Now blog, as well as the wellness coach for my own personal wellness brand, Wellhouse. I don't want to talk to you about how to eat well. So let's talk about the purpose of food. The purpose of food is to nourish the body. We enjoy, and I'm all for enjoying some food. Okay, I like to eat so much. Eating is an experience in my house. I like to cook as well. So I understand when you make a meal, especially if you're someone that likes to cook and you sit there. I mean, it could be the highlight of your goddamn day, especially if you're at a job that you can't stand and your lunch break comes around and all day long you're thinking about what you got to eat before you even start work. It's like, okay, when whatever your break is, 2 o'clock, 1, whatever, come around, I'm gonna go to the refrigerator. I'm gonna get my whatever you got to eat, my leftover lasagna, my leftover chicken sandwich, whatever you have to eat. And you, when you have that 35 an hour break, can't nobody tell you nothing because it's just you and your lasagna, right? I mean, yes, I've been there. I like to eat. So I understand how enjoying food is great. But we need to remember that the point of eating is to nourish our bodies. And we need to be cognizant of that on a daily basis. So when you're making your lunch, you're making your breakfast, you're having snacks, you're eating dinner, you need to ask yourself, how is that going to help my body? How is that going to hurt my body? Is it going to hurt my body more than help my body? These are basic questions that if you don't ask yourself on a daily basis, you'll find yourself with high blood pressure. You'll find yourself with diabetes. You'll find yourself immobile, not being able to walk. You'll find yourself with declined health. The point of eating is to nourish your body. And there are many different ways to gauge what to eat. And I do have a shameless plug in this video, and it's my book. So I have this book now. You can get the ebook right now. The ebook is available right now. The paper book is on the way. I have a paper copy. This is my author copy. So if you get a paper book, it'll be slightly smaller than this, but I will announce when the paperback is available. And in this book, I talk about how to eat. I talk about what you can eat, which is something that I'm like, okay, everybody's telling you what you can't eat, but what can you eat? And then when people would tell you what to eat, they would have this food that's not even like, what planet did you go to get that? Like, what is that? So it's things in here that you can get that you know what they are, that are native to the United States. If you're watching from another country, I'm in America. So a lot of the stuff that I write about in here that you can't eat is stuff that I can find in my country. But I'm sure it's not too far off from what you have in your country. I don't think, anyways. But in this book, I talk about how to eat, when to eat. I talk about one of the things I really want to bring to your attention. If you haven't heard of an alkaline diet, I would encourage you to definitely get this book, because just learning about the alkaline diet in general is something that'll really help your body. An alkaline diet really helps bring balance to your body, right? One of the things that I know you've heard of, oh, I forgot. My alkaline chart is in my other book. It's not in this book. So I'm going to detour. My alkaline chart's actually in this book. This is a free ebook, so you can download this book for free. This book is talking about how to live long. So, I mean, it's relevant. I'm sorry. I have so many books, and I forgot that my alkaline chart was in this book. So Death to the Deathbed, I talk about foods you can eat. I talk about their pH levels. I have an alkaline chart. Death to the Deathbed. This is a free book, free ebook. But alkaline, and I do actually mention that in this one, but I just don't think I have the chart in this one. Oops. So I talk about the alkaline foods, why they're beneficial. I talk about the different vitamins and minerals in foods. I talk about the color of foods and why those colors are beneficial, the best times and worst times to eat. Because believe it or not, if you're eating past like 8 o'clock, that is so bad, especially if you're somebody that's pre-diabetic or you're, already a diabetic. You don't want to do that. Even if you're having just a little piece of fruit, you don't want to eat that at night after 8 o'clock. So I talk about why you don't need to do that in greater detail. I talk about apple seed, which is a food product that Bill Gates came up with. It's basically fake food, and why we need to stay away from fake food, right? And I do get into detail in my book, but I just want to say about bioengineered food is that it foregoes the natural process that our food goes through. And that natural process in itself, the process itself is how the food gets vitamins and gets minerals. And that's how we are healthy. And that's why our food is able to serve the purpose of helping our bodies. Whenever you have food, you need to look at it and say, is this going to help my body or is this going to hurt my body? Those are questions that you need to ask yourself every time you sit down to eat something. You need to be able to know if it's going to help or hurt you. If you can't readily identify that, if you're not sure, then you need to find out. Because this body, you only get one of these, right? This is your body that you're going to have, and you need it to be in the best shape possible, especially when you get 70, 80, 90, or 100. Yeah, 100. I said 100. And you want to be able to drive yourself around. You want to be able to see. You want to be able to enjoy walks without getting tired and walking with a cane, having to be rolled around by someone else, or spend the rest of your life in a home where people have to take care of you hand and foot. And that can be such a travesty. You want to be independent as you get older. And it starts, one of the biggest things that contributes to you having a healthy life later in life is what you put in your mouth. All right. So how to eat well, it goes over that. I talk about how to grow your own food, some really helpful tips in there. I do talk a lot about what not to eat and why. That's really important. Some of the stuff on the list may actually shock you. I do talk about meats. I am a vegetarian, sort of. I mean, I do eat eggs and stuff. I eat eggs occasionally. So I really can't call myself a vegetarian. But for the most part, I'm not eating chicken or steak or cows. And not because I think that it's wrong. I don't think it's like a sin or anything like that, but I prefer not to eat meat, especially the different processes that American meat goes through. I do talk about that in this book. So I would encourage you to get the book. But if I could leave you with something today, I really want you to start looking at your food. I need you to start looking at your food, and I need you to be able to answer a question. I need you to be able to answer the question, how is this going to help me? That's the question that you need to be able to answer. What is this going to do to my body? And then another thing I would encourage you to do is I would encourage you to not eat processed foods. So what are processed foods? Sorry, I want to make sure my mic is on. I didn't see the light. Processed foods are kind of what they say. They're foods that go through a lot of processes before they get to you. So they go through a lot of different procedures, different prepping before they get to your grocery store and before you buy them. And I understand, you get these foods because you want them to last, right? If we want fresh vegetables, if we want fresh fruit, we don't have time to be going to the grocery store every day and getting a fresh salad, you know what I'm saying? And so if you have a big family, you got to buy like 4 things of salad. Then you got to try to hurry up and eat it before it goes bad. You know what I'm saying? So you get what can last, especially if you have a big family. The problem with that is that those preservatives are not really good to eat. They're not good for you. So one of the things that you can consider in addition to starting a garden is to canning food yourself. If you're canning food yourself, then you can have a longer lifespan. Another thing I want to say about getting food that has a very long shelf life, if you're someone that doesn't eat a lot of beans or legumes, or perhaps you don't sprout, these are excellent ways and very, 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 very affordable ways to have food that'll last a very long time. You can do so many different things with legumes and beans. You can get the legumes or beans in a bag. They do take a lot longer to cook. So you want to get like some type of crock pot so that you can kind of let them cook while you're sleeping, you know, and then you get up and bam, you have these wonderful beans that taste great. And you can eat your beans with salad. You can eat your beans with some black rice or brown rice. You can eat them with, if you eat meat like maybe some protein of some fish or whatever, or even some eggs. You know, beans go really well with everything. They're very easy to cook. They're very healthy depending on what type of beans or legumes you have, or you can sprout them. So some of the legumes that are really good to sprout are lentils or chickpeas. They go great in salads. They go great in soups, and they have an extremely long shelf life. All right, so that's all I wanted to say. I really wanted to stir you up and really get you thinking about what you're putting in your body. You know, when you sit down to eat, as much as I like eating just as much as the next person, I love cooking, I like eating, but you really need to ask yourself, what is this doing to my body? And if you can't give a good answer to yourself, you don't need to eat it. If you're a person that likes eating sweets, I would encourage you. You're gonna be like, how you gonna say that? Like you're gonna say something great. I would encourage you to fast from the sweets for a little while. Yeah, I said that. Take a break. Stop for like 30 days. No sweets, no cookies, no donuts, no candy, no ice cream for 30 days. And you know what's gonna happen to you? Your taste for that processed sugar is gonna change. You won't even want it. You won't even like it. You're going to be like, oh, it's nasty. Why is it so sweet? And then you'll gravitate more to natural, healthy sugars. And coming up in a video, I don't know when I'm going to do this, but I'll show you some really good recipes for some healthy ice cream, healthy cookies, and they taste good. They taste good. All right. So that's it for today. Definitely take advantage of my ebook, How to Eat Well. It's available on my website, www.truagenow.com. My name's LK Way, and like the video if you did like the video, and share it if you feel like someone will benefit from it. Again, I'm LK Way, wishing you an awesome day.